All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the second part of the show, we're going to talk about a couple of trades that went down over the weekend. I know I gave you a preview as to what we were going to discuss, and obviously it's titled here. But so a couple of trades went down. So the Denver Broncos, they traded Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver, to the Cleveland Browns for the number for the 135th overall pick, fifth rounder, and a sixth rounder in the 2024 draft. The trade cannot be finalized until the start of the new league year, which is March 13th. The Broncos will gain additional late round draft picks and save almost $13 million in 2024 salary cap space with the trade. The Browns add another weapon for Deshaun Watson, and he joins a wide receiver core that consists of Amari Cooper and also Elijah Moore, who they got from the Jets last year. Jeudy was drafted by the Broncos with the 15th overall pick in the 2020 draft and never surpassed the 1,000-yard receiving mark. Broncos had previously picked up Judy's fifth-year option, but now had decided to move on as part of their offseason or their offensive revamp. And, of course, they released Russell Wilson. And you know what? This also could mean that Courtland Sutton is on the trading block. They could end up trading him. But this opens up more opportunities for Marvin Mims, which to take on more significant roles alongside Courtland Sutton. But we'll see if maybe the Broncos end up trading Sutton, and then Marvin Mims becomes that number one receiver. Jeudy gets a fresh start with the Browns in his last year under his rookie contract before potential free agency. Yeah, and I saw a lot of comments that were like, yeah, this doesn't really change anything for the Browns. And listen, Jerry Jeudy was, coming out of college, everyone looked at him as, a lot of people looked at him as being the next, really good receiver. And, injuries have kind of hurt him. His rookie season had 856 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. Following season, in 2021, he only had 467. Definitely, injuries. Actually, 2021 he played in 10 games. 2020 played in 16. 2022, first year with Russ, he played in 15 games, and he had 972 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. And then in 2023, he played in 16 games, 758 receiving yards, and only 2 touchdowns. And now he joins a receiver core that consists of Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore, like I said. And, this was something I said as well, that, I thought the Browns maybe could use another weapon. So, again, you're getting him you gave up 2 late-round picks. So I don't really think, that was a bad trade for the Browns, in my opinion. Like I said, I know on social media all I saw was this doesn't really make them better. But we'll see. It really, I think, is all going to come down to the health of Deshaun Watson. Because it really has not, that trade has not panned out. It really has not. And if he's healthy and he can maybe return to, the Deshaun Watson back with the Texans, where he was looked at as, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, then, yeah, I think this trade is going to be even better getting Jeudy. But if you're going to have a season that's similar to 2023, where you're going through quarterbacks like crazy, whether it was P.J. Walker, DTR, Joe Flacco, and then, they brought in Jeff Driscoll just to start the last game of the season, yeah, and then it's going to be a mess again. But, even though that was a mess, the Browns still made the playoffs. But, if Deshaun Watson ends up getting hurt, then maybe, Flacco comes back off his couch and, is a starter again. But I think that's one of the biggest things is Deshaun Watson has to be healthy. And I think, I don't think Judy's a bad receiver, but I think you definitely wanted to see more out of him. There was more expected from him when he came out of college, and that just hasn't happened. So, a healthy Browns offense. The Browns are going to be good if they're healthy. You still got the defense. And on offense, if Deshaun Watson's healthy, Nick Chubb's healthy, to go along with the receiver core and David Njoku, Browns are going to be a good team again. And they were still, winning games despite Deshaun Watson not playing at a high level. So, you add another weapon. Again, I think Jeudy could be okay for them. I'm not expecting him to, just light it up. But, I think giving up 2 late round picks, you're not really risking anything there. We'll see. We'll see what he could do. But again, with the Broncos doing that, could they end up trading Courtland Sutton? I think that's on the table. But we'll see. The Broncos, I'm curious to see what they end up doing. But, yeah, so that's one trade. Then the other trade that was interesting was Mac Jones being traded from the Patriots to the Jaguars. So the Patriots will receive a 2024 sixth-round pick in compensation pending Jones passing a physical and the start of the new league year on Wednesday. Jones grew up in Jacksonville, joins his hometown team as a backup to Trevor Lawrence, who was the first pick in the 2021 draft. Jones is expected to compete with C.J. Beathard to be Lawrence's primary backup. Beathard, who started just one game in his 3 seasons with Jacksonville, is in the final year of a 2-year, $4.5 million contract. Jones had a promising start with the Patriots, earning a Pro Bowl selection as an alternate in his rookie season. However, his production dipped over the next 2 seasons. Impacted by changes in coaching staff and offensive scheme. The Patriots have already moved on from Jones with Bailey Zappi and second-year Nathan Rourke currently on their quarterback depth chart. With this trade, the Patriots gain an additional 6th-round pick, giving them 8 picks overall in the 2024 draft. Yeah, so that was kind of an interesting trade. Again, it's not going to spark a quarterback controversy by any means. But, Mac Jones needed a change of scenery. And, maybe him being a full-time backup, maybe that will help him. I'm not going to say that, he can learn under Trevor Lawrence because, it's kind of weird to say that, which I'm not expecting that. Because also the fact that they came from the same quarterback class. So I don't expect, Trevor Lawrence to take Mac Jones under his wing and, teach him the ropes of being a starting quarterback. Like, that's not going to happen. Mac Jones is being brought in just to be a backup, which I think, I honestly, well, again, comparing Mac Jones to C.J. Beathard, that's not really, something that's much of a debate. I would probably take Mac Jones over C.J. Beathard. Now, give C.J. Beathard credit. He did win a game last year. He did against the Panthers, but still won a game. But I think really this is just good for Mac Jones because, again, change of scenery and, knock on wood, Trevor Lawrence, as long as Trevor Lawrence doesn't get hurt, if he misses time for any reason, I think Mac Jones is definitely stepping into a better situation than as opposed to with the Patriots. Because, the Jaguars, they got talent on that offense. And not to say the Patriots didn't, but it definitely was lacking in some areas, particularly with wide receivers. And I guess, Ramondre Stevenson is a good running back when he's healthy, but, Travis Etienne is better. The receivers, with Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk, we'll see if they bring back Ridley. Also, Zay Jones has been a productive receiver for them as well. The Jaguars have talent on offense. It's just, last year, I don't know what happened. They just fell apart. Again, like I said, Trevor Lawrence getting hurt really played a role in that towards the end of the year. But, Trevor Lawrence, again, as long, if he doesn't get hurt, if Mac Jones does have to step in at some point, again, it's not like you're in a better situation than you are in New England. It's basically, to make a long story short. But yeah, Mac Jones, like I said, really regressed. His first season was promising. Again, didn't really light it up, but still, I mean, 3,800 yards passing, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. The Patriots made the playoffs. Passer rating of 92.5. But then it slowly went down. Then passed for nearly 3,000 yards, 14 touchdowns, 11 picks, 84.8. And then in 2023, got benched at points during the year. Only had 2,100 yards passing, 10 touchdowns, 12 picks, and a 77 rating. So, yeah, I mean, numbers have just gone down and down and down each year. And, yeah, that kind of just led to him being benched. And, yeah, now he's a Jaguar. So, sorry, I'm trying to hold back a sneeze. Again, that happens at least once on the show. But yeah, I mean, like I said, change of scenery, definitely beneficial for him. And now we'll see what the Patriots end up doing. I mean, they have a top 3 pick, so odds are they're going to take a quarterback. They also, another deal that I didn't mention, but Kendrick Bourne, they re-signed him. I'll get you the specifics on that deal. I'm just going to pull it up really quick. They bring back. Oh, they also brought back Hunter Henry as well. So yeah, they bring back Kendrick Bourne, 3-year deal worth up to $33 million. They also did, like I said, they re-signed Hunter Henry as well. So they did bring back a couple of their weapons. Obviously, Kendrick Bourne's coming off of a torn ACL, but he's been decent for them since he's come over from the 49ers. Let me see where the Hunter Henry deal is. Yeah, so that was a 3-year, $27 million contract. So, they bring back a couple of their weapons. Obviously, there's still more work that needs to be done. But yeah, so they bring back those guys. And yeah, the Patriots are going to draft a quarterback. I mean, Jaden Daniels could be a possibility. I mean, J.J. McCarthy, we'll see where he ends up going. Because you figure, I mean, there's a lot of talk with Drake May on whether he might fall in the draft or he could go number 2. I mean, we'll see. Obviously, Caleb Williams is either going to go 1 or 2. So Caleb Williams is definitely not going to be available when the Patriots draft. But I'm curious to see what the Commanders end up doing, or maybe they try to, get the number 1 overall pick from the Bears and they draft Caleb Williams. I mean, we'll see. But, and some of the other quarterbacks as well, where they end up going, Bo Nix, Michael Penix. I mean, again, obviously, Caleb Williams, like I said, is going to go 1 or 2. But then it's, I mean, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy. We'll see. But you figure the Patriots are definitely going to go with the quarterback. So, also, quick update. This is a guy that Aaron Rodgers wanted the Jets to re-sign, and they did re-sign him. And that is their kicker, Greg Zuerlein. They re-signed him to a 2-year, $8.4 million contract. And he had a solid season with the Jets last year, so they get him back. So that's just more news there as well. So before we go into our next break, just want to remind you guys once again to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to go to the following link. That is gsmcpodcast.net. Again, that really helps the show, makes the show more interactive between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. Again, that is gsmcpodcast.net. And as always, it is displayed on the ticker on the bottom of the show segment down below. So when we come back from our second break of the show, we are going to talk about Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins. Russell Wilson signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Kirk Cousins is going to test free agency. So with that being said, stick around and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.